This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturiusts PlayStation podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 5+ years in that games media combined, I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that PlayStation conversation, head on over to our Facebook, our Discord, Twitter, Instagram. All the links are in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/The PopCulturiusts, where you can watch us record the show. Like right now, we've got a couple people in the chat. This is literally what's happening. You can come, you can watch the show. It's a damn good time. If you do enjoy yourself, we'd ask that you share the conversation. You tell your friends, you tell your family. Look, it's isolation time right now, Max.
Hold me.
You know what you need? You need an unnecessary amount of podcasts, and this is the time where the PopCulturiusts can shine. You can tell your friends, family, this is a PlayStation show. You know, they'll talk about the games and all the things that are coming. So you're like, while I'm stuck here in isolation, what are the games that I should play? These guys may tell me. I say may because, who knows? It's up in the air. But on top of that, we also have our wrestling show, The Young and the Wrestlers. WrestleMania is next week, Max. It's not looking bright.
Yeah.
And if you call us, even though it is a difficult time, it's part of the spiel. If you want to support us financially, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturists, or you can buy our merchandise at popculturists.com/shop. You can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Hey, man.
Hey, man.
How's things?
It's been a rough week.
Has been a rough week.
Been a rough week. Obviously, I mentioned last week that my hours have increased at work, so gone from doing 4.5 hours overnight to 7.5 hour overnight shifts, and I'm just wrecked.
Yeah.
I'm just wrecked.
Because it's like it's working 8 hours on a daily is already tiring, but then overnight when your body's like, you should be sleeping.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm super appreciative that I've still got work in such a shitty time, but it is rough. Like, I've got a 3-month-old kid. I've been sleeping in the spare room just so I don't disturb my wife or my kid when they want to go to sleep, because I have to go to bed at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It does. Like, dude, overnight work is the fucking worst. My kid's awake. Probably should shut that door, but it's fine.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah, so because I'm in the same boat, so I'm very lucky that I'm still working as well. So because my job falls within disability services, that counts as essential. So I'm still going. We have transitioned everything to online only, so we now run out of the offices still, but completely online. So we stream to our clients now.
That's cool.
Which is cool. So that allows us to stay interactive, to stay social, to keep communicating with them. But so now we stream our role-playing sessions, we stream video games, we'll stream some board games. I did some miniature painting the other day. We built a Damon Prince from Age of Sigmar. However, I had the chat pick what parts to put on him, what color will I make him. So he's now Dayman, and he'll be hot Elwood's pink, so from Legally Blonde, with booty shorts.
Oh, nice.
So he'll be the only demon to ever wear booty shorts. I'm very excited.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so it's like we're doing a bit more interactive stuff like that, so it's great. So my job's still kicking, which is I'm very, very lucky to be in that position, similar to yourself. That allows me to keep doing all my things and playing the games. Max, there is a game that we both been playing this week. Can't talk about it yet, so we'll talk about Redacted game in the near future. But what else have you been playing apart from Redacted?
So I've been playing some more Nioh 2.
I get to that a little bit later. That's the main point today.
Still getting my ass handed to me.
Oh yeah, fuck.
I picked up Persona 5 Royal.
Hey, me too.
Been playing that.
Oh, my controller. I've been giving our good friend Dash so much shit about Persona 5. I give shit to all my clients at work about Persona 5, and they went and bought it.
Yeah, I didn't get the Steelbook edition.
It was the same price, and I was like, worst comes to worst, I can resell it. Someone will want to buy it.
Well, see, I'm cheap, so I got them to price match to JB, and JB don't sell the Steelbook apparently.
Oh, really?
So I was gonna say that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
And
how are you finding it? Because you're only early days, right?
I'm super. I have finished base Persona 5, obviously, but I'm very early in Royal. I think I've put maybe 5 hours into it. I haven't dove deep. Obviously, I've had other stuff that I've been playing. I cancelled my Final Fantasy Online subscription.
Oh,
it's like
cool.
I need to get out of this for a while. $30 a month is a bit too steep these days.
Yeah.
I played Predator Hunting Grounds.
Oh shit! I was going to say I need to download that. How was it?
I don't understand it. It's by the guys that did the Friday the 13th game. And
it's an asymmetrical multi, yeah?
It's just not as fun as what Friday the 13th was.
Why? What's different?
So, the first game, I only played one game, and I got stuck being a Marine, which was unfortunate, because I super wanted to be the Predator. And there's, like, NPC AI dudes shooting at me that aren't the Predator when I'm, like, capturing points and stuff. It was weird. It played more like... what was that game that did not go well? That basically kicked off the asymmetrical thing.
Oh, Evolve.
Evolve, yeah. It played similarly to Evolve. So there was, you had control points that you had to go capture. You had objectives to go and do, and the monster or the Predator in this case, was hunting you down, trying to stop you from doing that. Mm-hmm. And the Predator just, like, dicked me real hard. I mean, like, he's got invisibility, I've got an AR. What am I supposed to do? Just blindly shooting. At one point, I saw the triple laser sight come at me. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to walk back inside. Thank you very much.
Now. This is the moment where I die.
So, yeah, apart from that, not much else. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. Been playing Redacted. We can't talk. I can't even tell whether I liked it or not because it's Redacted. On top of that, I have been playing some Nioh 2 as well. We'll get to that at the back end of the show. As I picked up Persona as well. It's installed. It's ready to go. That's about it. Other than that, no, it's mostly been the game I can't talk about. But I'm trying to think what else I played. No, that's it. That's literally it.
Yeah, I haven't seen you on anything else. So.
No, because we've had to be offline. But additionally to that, I will give my new weekly Ryan get less fat update. In terms of my get less fat update, I am now at a lovely 7.4 kilos gone. Thank you very much.
You are successfully less fat.
Thank you. I am successfully being less fat, which is very, very cool. So I'm still doing the 2 shakes a day. The man shake, hashtag not sponsored, but open to it. Man shake, it fucking works, man. Like I've done many, many different diety things in my time, and right now it's been. Oh, thank you, Steven, in the chat for giving me some bit of the. Get slim thing, but yeah, just shy of 7.5 kilos in, I guess, since January, but really in 3 weeks it's about 5 kilos in 3 weeks, because excluding the 2 kilos that I did from just regular diet change. Yeah, it's good. I've been having the 2 shakes a day, breakfast and lunch, and then I've been doing the man bars as well. I've gone double. I've doubled down on this man shake company. So I have the bars, the little protein bars. They're goddamn delicious, and it's fine because it's been able to allow me to kind of have whatever I want for dinner and still at least get some result on the daily.
Yeah, so that's one. That's one issue I have with. That's one of my worries about not being at work. If that happens, I will go from doing 15 to 20,000 steps a day on average to probably nothing because I do most of that at work. Yeah,
I'm like because I only really do like 6,000, 7,000 steps a day, and that's mostly walking to and from my car. So if I'm not driving into work and walking that distance, then that's a problem. But yeah, like it's because you're changing you're still getting the nutrients your body needs, but because you're fucking with it a little bit, it kind of forces it to work. So I'm just saying, give a bell.
Yeah, I got a bell.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. That'd be imagine that. Imagine come October, you and I are just so pretty for PAX. Like, we're going to...
And then they turn us down anyway.
Yeah, we'll accidentally do social distancing just because we're less people.
Yeah.
I'm very...
I just got to make sure I can fit in the bathtub in the hotel room to get us a good night's sleep.
There's going to be a lot of bodies in that room. But yeah, no, that I'm very happy with myself. I'm very pleased. It feels good. So, because you were doing your speed, but apparently, you still taking your
no, it's way
weight loss speed?
It's way too expensive. With With the uncertainty of work, I couldn't commit to $150 a month expenditure for, let's say, vanity.
Well, how many G's did you lose on the
7.5 in a month?
Yeah.
I mean, I changed my diet a little bit too. Like, I wasn't just taking prescription speed.
But it's funny because,
like, you know,
I did go back just out of pure curiosity. I went,
but it also did jack my heart rate heaps.
Oh yeah,
so
it's fucking.
So I'm like, it's another good reason to be like, nah, maybe I'll just calm down a bit.
Because I went back to like a video from October, just out of pure curiosity to see, because I knew that you'd lost some kilos, I'd lost some kilos. So I was like, let's just have a look. And you can see it in our faces. Here comes my child. You can just see it in our faces, which is the big one. Like it's a bit less in my face. You're a bit less in the face as well.
Realistically, I just want to lose this.
I want to lose all this. It'd be fantastic. But anyway, it's just a PlayStation show. Not this is not the PlayStation the PopC podcast brought to you by Manshake. But once again, for me, it's all about keeping me accountable. If I sit here and I talk about it, then it makes me keep going.
If it's on the internet, you can be held accountable.
That's right. If it's on the internet, so rather than me like just doing it and not telling anyone, that allows me to fall off the wagon at
Imagine if you did tell no one. You come out of quarantine in like 1 month, 2 months time, and you just look schmick, and everyone's like, "The fuck happened to?"
But no, yeah, it keeps because as I've said, my motivation is always the killer for me. I will climb off that shit in a heartbeat. Someone's like KFC, I'm like, yeah, give me 2.
So I just want to be able to run around with my kid without like dying.
Yeah, that's part of my plan too. Yeah.
That'd be super awesome. And like my kid's not even running yet.
Yeah.
Or crawling. That's already hard.
Yeah. But thankfully I have noticed that difference. I do feel better. Like physically I feel better. I'm sleeping better. It's kind of a win at this point. So any more that happens from here on out is a total win. Justin in the chat goes, do you walk around the backyard or play with James in the backyard? Yeah, so we play with James. I play with James and stuff. So any exercise I get outside of walking to work is me just like wrestling him. Like him and I just fucking tumbling. Because he has all the energy in the world because he's 3. I'm like, he's like, do it, and then like fucking double knees me.
So it's like, time out. I need a break.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Go to your corner.
Yeah, go to your corner. That's ding, ding, ding. All right, fuck. Nah, it's good times. But anyways, that is enough about me being less fat and what I've been playing. Let's get us into the section we call Inform the Players, where we tell you about what happens this week in PlayStation.
Well, speaking about kids, Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Rumor has it the boy is coming to PC.
Boy. Look, side note. Side note to the side note. My wife is currently rewatching Stargate right now because she's working from home, so she's in the self-ISO. So she's like, I'm just going to watch Stargate again. I'm like, cool, that's great. However, there are 2 people in Stargate that do voices and other shit. So obviously we've got Tilk, the guy that Christopher Judge, the gentleman that is now the voice of Kratos. So I'm hearing her watch it. I'm hearing this. What's fucking Kratos doing in the room? And then the actress whose name I can never remember, her character is Vala in Stargate, but she was Chloe in Uncharted. So I'm hearing Chloe and Kratos talk to each other, and my brain hurts. I'm like, ow. But great God of War, greatest game generation.
So the rumors are everywhere. We're warming up to the next generation of gaming hardware, and in this period you usually see some pretty crazy things being shared around. Yeah. One of the latest rumors doing the circuit online concerns PlayStation 4 exclusive God of War. Some believe that the Santa Monica Studio masterpiece is destined for a PC release, as with the Guerrilla's Horizon Zero Dawn. So why is this gaining so much traction? It boils down to 3 words, Ryan, or lack thereof. The phrase "only on PlayStation" has generally appeared on PS4 boxes and game pages throughout the generation, obviously used to denote a PS4 exclusive. Its usage has been a little spotty, and this extends to PlayStation's own official web pages for its first-party titles. Case in point, the God of War page, which is currently absent of that all-important wording. It's this that's spurring the rumor that the game will be making the leap to PC.
I'm not even mad because, like, I love that game so fucking much, and if that means that anybody else can enjoy one of the greatest games to ever be made, I have no issue. It's made its money on PS4. It's been there let everyone enjoy it.
Well, the trouble is, if you visit this official God of War website, it says only on PlayStation, clear as day.
Oh.
This isn't the only discrepancy you can find, however, though. Dreams, MLB The Show 20, the Wipeout Omega Collection, Astrobot Rescue Mission, and Gravity Rush 2, all PS4 exclusives, also don't have the only on PlayStation logo.
That's an interesting selection of games. Okay.
Would it upset me if it went to PC? No. Everyone should play that game.
Fuck yeah, they should.
100%. It is brilliant.
What are the ones that don't have it? So it's like...
So MLB The Show.
Well, that's about to go cross-platform as of next year, so that's fine.
Dreams.
That's interesting. We've heard about a PC for a while.
Wipeout Omega Collection.
That's a weird one.
Astrobot Rescue Mission, the PlayStation VR exclusive.
Apparently that's been hunted by to go to other, because it's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant.
It is. And Gravity Rush 2.
Gravity Rush is a weird one. Like no one is demanding Gravity Rush 2 right now.
No. I mean, it was a PS Vita game.
Yeah.
Could I see it on Switch? Maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Might be a good testing bed for that. But yeah, cool. I like it because that means more people are going to play a brilliant fucking game. If you haven't played God of War yet, what are you doing? Either A, wait for it to come to your PC, or play it on your PlayStation 4. The game is absolutely spectacular. It very quickly became my favorite game of all time.
All right, he's up there.
Fucking exceptional. Well, no, look, it's one of those things like
no, it is.
Previously,
it is
Harvest. Oh, look, I think Harvest Moon Back to Nature.
I don't know how you went from Harvest Moon is the greatest game of all time to God of War,
because that game is fantastic.
There has been so many good games between.
I play.
Oh yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah, fuck all those games. Although Harvest Moon's a game that I play at least once a year, and it's fucking fantastic. It's a good farming game. I absolutely love it with all my heart. God of War hit me right at a perfect time. And I think the reason I love it so much is because of the emotional attachment that I have to it. So like, I have a young son, I had a younger son then, so the whole story about a father and son hit home even harder. And I think that's so look, granted, it plays exceptionally, it looks exceptional, it sounds exceptional, everything about it is fucking awesome. But then I think there's that extra emotional connection for me that pushes it across that line for me. I think the game's I can't even say it. The game's fucking exceptional. It's near perfect.
Do you know that Epic does more stuff than Fortnite?
No. Oh, I thought they just bought exclusive rights to shit.
So, Remedy Entertainment earlier this week announced that they were announcing a deal with a major publisher. We now know that publisher is the newly formed Epic Games Publishing. However, the Control developer is not the only studio that's hopped into bed with Epic. The other two teams that have made a similar deal with the folks behind Fortnite, PlayDead and Gen Design, makers of PlayStation 4 titles Inside and The Last Guardian respectively,
that's cool,
have also entered a multi-platform publishing partnership with Epic. According to a new blog post from the company, this deal ensures the studios keep, quote, 100% of all intellectual property
Rad.
And full creative control of their work.
Rad.
It also promises up to 100% of development costs and ensures the developer earns at least half of the profits made by the game. Hector Sanchez is head of Epic Games Design Publishing, and he seems pretty happy with this trio of studio partnerships. Quote, Gen Design, Remedy, and PlayDead are among the most innovative and talented studios in the industry, with strong visions for their next games, he says. They will have full creative control, while Epic will provide a solid foundation of project funding and services. How do they say no to these deals where they guarantee 100% of the upfront costs? They get to keep their own IPs, they get to do what they want with the game, and they're still going to get 50% of all the sales.
Yeah, so 50% is a little bit lower than like standard, I believe. However, but
generally those who get higher have to pay for their own stuff.
Yeah, so it's higher, but then they don't get the additional asterisks, the additional additions. That's a bad sentence that they're offering. So, like, and this is the same reason that the bunch of other games are going exclusive to Epic, because the deal is too good. There's so much money in those deals that it kind of makes it win, right?
Yeah.
Like for Remedy, 100% a great idea, because that allows them to continue being multi-platform. Because there was a discussion semi-recently, about a year ago, about possibly them being on the rumor mill for becoming a Sony first party. But then with Control coming out, being critically received well, but not selling a whole amount like that. Those rumors kind of fell through really quickly. Speaking of, Control's DLC came out yesterday. I kind of want to. Yeah. So I think what I'll do, I'll buy the season pass through the PopC account.
Nice.
So that we can both play the DLC. Nice. that should hopefully work.
Yeah,
crossed.
it does.
It does. So if I buy, because I'm the primary console, so that means I still get the DLC. All right, sweet.
That works.
Hi. So Remedy, because they allegedly made their money back on Control, which is fantastic. However, like, this is going to help them so much. Because like when you're not relying on the likes of exclusivity, because I know they did with like Alan Wake as an example, they work exclusively with Microsoft.
Well, a lot of their games have been on Microsoft.
Yeah, and this allows them to do a lot more. And PlayDead is a cool one, because I've been wondering what they've been up to. I loved Inside. Remember when I reviewed it a couple of years ago? I gave it like a fucking 10. I thought Inside was fantastic. So that's cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy that there is a publisher out there kind of looking after developers. I mean, they would be.
It's all conspicuous because with the Epic stuff, it's always very. But you can't argue those deals.
No,
just business.
You can see why they do it.
Yeah.
PlayStation Flicks.
What?
Yeah, exactly. The PlayStation 5's operating system sounds like it's really going to prioritize speed and efficiency above all else, putting that high-speed solid-state drive to very good use in the process. That's a far cry from the PlayStation 4's current dashboard, which almost instantly slows to a crawl as soon as you boot up a particularly intensive game. That'll hopefully be... Lately, I can't even load the PlayStation Store.
Dude, what I've been finding, like I've been playing a game and I'm like, oh, I'll just press the button to go back to menus, like, and then I'm running on a Pro that's like been rejiggered, and yeah, I would hate if I had a regular one right now, an OG.
I do. It's horrible. So that'll hopefully be an annoyance of the past. However, as Kotaku's Jason Schreier has shared one of Sony's pitches to developers as it attempts to turn playing a PS5 game into something, quote, as easy as Netflix.
Oh no, Netflix is sometimes shit.
The news editor said, quote, I have heard some fascinating things about PS5's operating system like this. One of the pitches they've been making to developers is, playing a PlayStation 5 game should be as easy as watching a show on Netflix. They want to make players feel like they can load up the game immediately, know exactly how much time a given activity is going to take. Schreier goes on to state that the Japanese giant wants people to feel more inclined to play games in short bursts rather than waiting until they have a handful of hours to spare. This is welcome news indeed, which could suggest that Sony has its own take on the Xbox Series X Quick Resume feature in the works to allow you to quickly switch between games, alongside a new PS5 patent which suggests trophies, in-game achievements, and unlockables could be displayed on the next-gen console's dashboard. It sounds like Sony is cramming as much info onto its new home screen as possible. It'll still ensure speed and reliability, however.
I don't want my
dashboard more bloated than it already is.
That's the one reason that I don't use I use my Xbox anyway. But like, I really hate the UI on Xbox. I think it's kind of gross.
It's just recently changed, and
has it?
It's so good now.
Oh fucking A! Sweet, I've been using.
I turned my Xbox on the other day. I'm like, hey, this looks different. I like this.
Yeah. So like last week, it just looked like a cluttered mess, and I couldn't use it. And I guess that probably comes from years of using like the cross media bar. But yeah, no, I'm like, this is unbearable, and there is so much unnecessary information here. There's extra squares and shit. Why isn't this simple? And they're like, hey, we're gonna put more shit. Like, no, make it simple as possible. However, having things just boot up like Netflix is a pretty cool idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think that was their big selling point with their new solid state drive. They're like, we want to eliminate load times. We want to get you in as fast as possible.
But in terms of like that actually being a thing, so with my PC, when I upgraded it 2 years ago now, first time I ever put a solid state drive in anything, but boots up in 8 seconds. From button press to me doing stuff, 8 seconds.
Well, I can turn my PlayStation off first, wait 5 seconds, turn my PC on, and my PC still boots faster than my PlayStation.
Yeah. So in terms of seeing exactly what happens with a solid state, yeah, give me that. Like, granted, my PS4 doesn't take a whole lot of time to kick in, but like, it goes all right.
She gets there.
Yeah, she gets there. She goes. I don't have to like leave and go make cuppa and come back or anything, which is nice. Sarah, we'll answer your question a little bit later. Just
Yes.
I acknowledge that we saw it.
PS5s and their 3D audio.
Oh, yeah.
So Dolby Atmos may technically be a competitor to PlayStation 5's proprietary 3D audio technology.
Tempest Engine.
The Tempest Engine. It is written in the next sentence.
Yay!
But it still seems excited for the Tempest... Sorry. But it still seems excited for the Tempest Engine. My wrist is just vibrating. Yeah, but Dolby Atmos may technically be a competitor, but they still seem excited for the Tempest Engine, which was detailed by lead architect Mark Cerny, best voice in the business. Last week, as part of an FAQ on its website, the organization said that Sony's announcement is, quote, a crucial moment which can only be interpreted as a validation of the work we have done across all entertainment genres. Still, while it was largely complimentary of the Japanese giant's efforts, it did have a bone to pick with the PlayStation maker. During his presentation, Cerny insinuated that Dolby Atmos could only simulate sound for 32 objects in a 3D space, where the PS5's Tempest Engine could handle hundreds. Dolby Atmos countered that its solution can also accommodate hundreds of sounds, but it concluded...
Bunch of foam just fell off my wall.
But it concluded that while, quote, more is good, it's not necessarily better, end quote.
It's so much brighter in here with those two fucking things falling off the wall.
It said, we fall back on sage advice from developers of some of the first Dolby Atmos games. Objects are a fantastic tool, but restraint should be shown with respect to the number of objects active at any given time. Too many objects in motion can create a confusing soundscape. Despite the slightly barbed disagreement, Dolby Atmos was generally very optimistic about Sony's efforts. Quote, we are excited to hear that Sony has committed to an evolution of its audio by establishing a bona fide 3D audio platform for the PS5. It concluded, Tempest is not only a great name, but a great reference to one of our favorite arcade classics as well.
Hey. Well, have you had... Because thinking about this, it's a good point. I'm like, whoa, 100 objects, that sounds amazing. And next thing you're like getting like audio motion sickness.
It depends on the context. Do I want to hear 100 objects flying around a room? Probably not. Do I want to hear 100 pieces of sand sliding down the hill? Maybe.
Very different experiences, Max. Very different.
It just depends on the context that it's in.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Do I want to hear 100 fully defined
voices?
No, I was thinking like completely unique farting sounds. Probably not.
No, I do.
Are they going to put it in the next game for South Park? Probably.
Yeah. We've taken real advantage of the Tempest Engine, and here's a bunch of different farts. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Man, did I ever tell you about the time that I did that? No.
Okay,
Speaking of South Park,
going with
when they were releasing the Nodulus Rift.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that sucked. That sucked so hard. We're very lucky. We went to EB Games Expo in Sydney about years ago. And that was when Fractured Butthole was there. And they're like, hey, you want to try the Nodulus? I'm like, sure. So every time you press square on the control, and fuck me. Like,
see, all I envisioned when they announced this Nodulus Rift was like that skit from Jackass 2 where they put the diver helmet on.
That's kind of it.
And it's just some guy farting down a tube at you.
The problem that they had is, like the nose things were like hooks. So they got deep in the back of your schnoz.
Oh, no.
So it's like, and like it didn't leave. We made the horrible choice to use our media time to go play it for the first thing on the Friday morning. I could smell it Sunday when I went home. It was there, it was deep, and it was farty.
That's nasty.
It was gross. But the more I hear about this audio setup for PS5, the more we discussed it last week. Like, I'm super stoked on it. I'm super excited about it. Hopefully it allows me to hear shit better in games. I'm in. Super in.
Same. I'm super excited for it. Hopefully it works as well as they're hoping it will.
Big time. Yeah. I'm trying to think what games would be
I'll
good.
100% let them scan
For fuck's sake, foam. All right, you keep talking. You do the next. I'm going to fix the foam. You do the next story.
I'll let them scan my ear. That's fine.
I'll send them photos of my ear hole. I don't mind. I'll do it.
So after the rumors we talked about last week, we should have just stayed silent.
What?
The rumors of the 2 Silent Hill reboots broke the internet a few weeks back, as website Rely on Horror reported that the cancelled Silent Hills is going to be brought back on PlayStation 5, alongside an overall soft reboot of the core franchise. The speculation got a lot of us.
Mostly me.
Got everyone. Everyone got it. But according to Konami at least, the rumors aren't true. Speaking to Rely on Horror, the original source of the rumors, a Konami US rep said, quote, "We're aware of all the rumors and reports, but can confirm they are not true. I know it's not the answer your fans may want to hear." They go on to state that while the publisher isn't completely closing the door on the Silent Hill series, it won't be bringing them back in the way that is being reported.
Goddamn bullshit, Max. Goddamn bullshit.
This is why we don't get our hopes up, Ryan, because Konami just squashed them.
But I love the fact that it's like, hey, we're the ones that have the rumor. Turns out the rumor was wrong. Like, but you made it. Like, yeah. So.
It's surprising that it took Konami 3 weeks for them to come out and squash it.
Yeah, that's concerning.
Let everyone get hyped and then Konami come out and be the bad guys. I'm like, nah, we're not.
Hey, that shows how much little they care. Someone's like, hey, you want to deal with this? Like, nah.
Nah, we'll let it go for a little bit.
What's going to happen? It's like, fuck, what's going to happen? I'm fucking mad, Max. Don't like it. I wanted Silent Hill, everyone. I wanted it so bad in my core.
That's not where I thought you were going to say.
And probably my penis. I want Silent Hill so bad, and this is actual bullshit.
Yeah, look, it's upsetting. I hope Konami do something with the property.
They won't.
They probably won't. Let's talk some quick bits.
Woo!
As I mentioned earlier, I've been playing it. Predator Hunting Grounds free trial is running this weekend.
So it'd be finished by the time you listen to this on podcast services. But
yeah. Oh, as of recording, it's only 11 gig. Give it a bell.
Oh, sick. So I hope you all enjoyed it, because by the time this goes up on podcast feeds on Monday, it's gone.
Death Stranding photo mode will be coming to PlayStation.
Sweet! Not going to play it. Already finished it.
The April PlayStation Plus games were leaked by PlayStation Access.
It was Uncharted
4 and Dirt Rally 2.0.
Uncharted 4 is a winner.
They posted their YouTube video early and it's now unlisted.
Oops. Uncharted 4 is a big one. If you have to self-isolate, Uncharted 4 is a great game to play. That's what I'm saying.
PS5 release window, according to Bloomberg, says, quote, a Sony spokeswoman said it doesn't see any notable impact on the launch of its next-gen game console. PlayStation 5 is still planned at the end of this year. Woo?
Woo? But, like, the difficulty is I'm so confident. Like, everything could change. That's as of right now. Shit could change in 45 minutes. They're like, look, your shit's fucking shutting down.
Well, last I heard, China had reopened all their factories, but they're firing a lot of people because there's not enough work. Because everyone else is now in lockdown because we're so far behind.
Oh. Ooh.
So there's not enough manufacturing work for all the workers that they've now got to come back.
It's true, because everyone's locked down. Like, look, we can't really afford to get you to make shit right now. And I think that's probably going to be the biggest thing. However, Max... I was thinking about this week, actually. So with the last week, with the PS5 announcement thing by Mark Cerny, and how it kind of told us a whole bunch of nothing. Well, it told us stuff, but like not about any official release datey things. Do you think that that Sony are being very conservative about this and playing it very safe, and the reason they're not telling you this stuff is in case it does get delayed?
Well, it's interesting because they've obviously Microsoft beat them to the punch announcing their stuff at Game Awards last year in December. None of this coronavirus stuff kicked off until, February this year? Mm-hmm. So they still had 3 months or 2.5 months to talk about it if they wanted to, but they didn't. And now in this environment that we're in now, it's probably wise not to talk about it.
Yeah.
For them to come out and say, no, guys, it's coming out in holidays, and then holiday time rolls around, they're like, oh, we do not have enough of anything. If they come out and only release like 1 million units, people are going to be pissed.
What if it's one of those things of they had a plan, and then with GDC getting cancelled, pushing that.
But this was their GDC talk.
That's what I'm saying. It got delayed by like a month. So what if they had something in February, something in March, or whatever, or something in February, something in April, but that's all been shifted back a month and a half?
But let's say we knew a couple of weeks in advance that the GDC was. we knew the GDC was getting cancelled or delayed. Sony had ample time to do what they did anyway earlier. They chose not to.
Very, very true.
It's wise to keep quiet at this point.
Yeah.
There's no point making promises that they don't know if they can keep or not.
So Ryan, Iclonus in the chat talked about social distancing between us. Look, we're very lucky.
We're playing footsies under the
Playing
table.
footsies. I mean that as in we are both. You're a cleaner. You're covered in fucking hand sanitizer all the time and sanitizing chemicals.
Yeah,
same here.
2.5 hours of my job is literally sanitizing.
I'm a team of 2 at my day job, so like I don't touch or see anyone pretty much. Like once we get now that we're isolated.
I also work alone.
You work alone, so we're reasonably safe. But however, we have put contingencies in place that if we do need to record, remotely, we can.
do so now.
So I dumped a bunch of shit at your house yesterday. So if push comes to shove and we can't do the show in the same room like we want to, we have opportunities. But yeah, no, okay, I get your point.
They're kind of, at this moment in time, Sony are kind of caught between a rock and a hard place.
It
with
is,
their
but like it's
announcements.
one of those things they just couldn't have planned.
Because yeah, of course, because they can't get the hype train running.
And also,
just to dash
thank you
it
for Ewan's mum.
Ewan.
Ewan McGregor. Thank you, Ewan's mum, for the follow, as well as the Mullet Show for a host.
Yeah, obviously they can't get that hype train going, and everyone going, oh, it's coming out holiday, I can't wait. We're gonna put my pre-order down. We're gonna do this, and then they're like, look, guys, we're just not gonna have the units. We're gonna have to push it back a couple of months. That will destroy them.
Yeah, but if
They're better off not announcing anything, and then when they know they can give us a concrete date, even if that's later than what they initially anticipated, surely that will have a better receiving from their fans than what they would have if they delayed it.
Because what they're wanting to do is they're wanting to avoid the PS3. So the PS3 was delayed by about a year behind the Xbox 360. And that is part of the reason the 360 just ran so hard at the start of that generation.
It also didn't help that the PlayStation came out at like $1,000 redos, and
Yeah,
the Xbox
that's also
didn't.
very true. So I think what they could be doing here is they could be waiting until Microsoft, if they make that call, it's coming 2020, then they go, we're coming 2020. So they're coming in 2021, and then next thing they can be like, we're coming in 2021 as well. So, you know, they're just kind of biding their time till that gets announced, perhaps.
CD Projekt Red has just made a donation for $950,000 dues to Poland's biggest charity foundation for coronavirus. Quote,
Voldemort virus.
Quote, we would also like to thank the entire medical service and everyone involved in the fight against the virus. Risking your own health, you fight for ours every day. Your hard work is our inspiration. We also have an appeal to everyone who reads this message. Take seriously what is happening around us. Listen to the recommendations of those who know about public health. Stay at home and do not let the virus spread further.
Agreed. But yeah, so because apparently
like all those louts out at St Kilda Beach.
Yeah, that's not even a good beach, you fucking morons. Go to like a good beach. Well, I say that, don't go to a good beach at all, because I think Surf Coast is about the same. I think Torquay is pretty jacked up right now. But, yeah, look, I know some videos are getting flagged by mention of the word. No one watches these, so it's fine. So there's 2 words that we can use, Max. We can either be the Voldemort virus, or just keep things relevant, the T virus.
That's a scary thought.
But that is
it for the news.
That is all of the news, Max. So let's have a chat to the players about Nioh 2. So Nioh 2 is the latest release from Koei Tecmo in their Soulsbourne-like series, Nioh. Yeah, it's currently still a PlayStation exclusive, or PlayStation console exclusive. That's right. Correct, Mullet Show. You are a player. And we're going to chat to you about Nioh 2. So we did receive this about 2 weeks ago from PlayStation. So thank you very much from PlayStation Australia for providing us the code. However, we were both distracted by Doom and then Redacted Game. But now we've been able to spend some time, some good time with it. And fuck me, the game's hard.
So I'm about 25 hours deep.
Jeez, nice one.
And I really wish I could say I'm further than I am, but I'm not. I have done the first 2 main missions and the first 3 submissions, and I can't, for the life of me, beat the boss on the 3rd level.
Yeah. So I have played for 3 hours, 4 hours, something like that. And a big hunk of that was me fighting that bullfuck at the start of the game. Now, I say that because I swore at him a lot. So when the game kicks in, you make your character, you go in. So I made a character that looks like a slightly, more samurai version of Matthew. With like purple little tattoos and like purple streaks in his hair. Keep it on brand, and then thankfully, unlike the 1 where I died in 9 seconds in that bell tower in England or whatever, here I saw my first little gremlin goblin thing. I'm like, haha, and then I was like, cool. And then I walked my way into the graveyard.
It lured you into a false sense of...
It did. I'm like, oh my God. And then he proceeded to punch me for about an hour and a half. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, wait, what if I just run past him? Because there's no locks or anything. There's nothing locking. So I scoot past him, duck around the back, start grinding out some little goblin dudes, get those, it's not souls, what is it called in here?
Amrita.
So I'm collecting my Amrita. It's like sort of just kind of grinding my way through things, coming back to the little prayer station.
It's essentially the life essence of
the life essence of all the things I'm killing. So I grab the life essences, run back, level up myself, go back, do it again, come back, and then I'm like, all right, you bullheaded fuck, let's do this.
So
and then he killed me another 45 minutes.
Just to back up for a little bit. At the start of the game, you get a choice of all the weapons. What did you pick?
I originally went with a standard sword and the 2 axes.
Oh, really?
However, axes fucking suck. So I then the second that I could, I ditched those axes and I replaced it with a larger sword.
That's interesting you say that. So I too started with the basic sword, but I chose to use the death scythe.
Which one's that?
Like the literally death scythe.
Oh,
it's
cool.
a big scythe.
Yeah.
Turns out that is also hot garbage, and I also swapped that out for a bigger sword.
Yeah, so what I find is I was using the sword because I found that nice, quick, and it's a good middle ground. And then, the axes were fast, but it's one of those things of the speed. The damage that was kicked to the speed, I wasn't happy with it. And even if I should change my stance to a higher stance, it still wasn't delivering me the damage that I wanted.
Yeah, so I found that
or the range that I wanted.
I found that I couldn't stagger enemies well enough with the speedier weapons.
Yeah. So then I changed to like essentially just a big katana thing, and that got me the distance that I wanted. Each strike had a good bit of thump to it. Obviously, it uses more of your ki or your stamina, which is fun because the big thing is stamina balance, which I'm really bad at. So it was cool to have the big sword to like take chunks out of it. I'm like, all right, cool. I know I can do 3 attacks and I got to bounce back. And then if it wasn't for that big sword, I wouldn't have wrecked that bullhorn. That bullhorn. Saying that, I also have to do it twice.
Yeah. So it's fun. So obviously the mechanic existed in Nioh 1, which was the key pulse. So that's returned in Nioh 2, where if you essentially hit a button at the perfect time, you will regain a lot of your lost stamina instantaneously. So generally it's the button that guards. So you do a quick guard or a quick stance change and you'll get your stamina back. A little bit further through the game, you can unlock the ability to key pulse whilst dodging. That is a lifesaver, to be able to duck in, hit them 3 times, and then instead of having to retreat or key pulse, you dash to the side, get all your stamina back, and now you're behind them attacking them because you haven't lost any stamina.
I like it.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good. The combat is very tight. Being a massive fan of all the Soulsbourne series, the Sekiros, I wish I put more time into Nioh 1, but the game some of the mechanics confused me a lot. I couldn't really get into it.
So how do you? We'll get into the specifics of of some of them. But how do you feel it compares to Nioh 1, which is Nioh?
Gameplay wise, it feels pretty much the same. It feels a lot tighter than what the first one does, but they've changed the way some of the skills. From what I remember, I think they've changed some of the way you acquire your skills. The skill tree looked slightly different to what I can remember. Maybe it kind of is just a new interface. The mechanics behind it might be exactly the same, but it felt with the new change, it did look easier to understand for a simpleton like myself. And I found myself exploring a lot more options. I was using a lot more different weapon diversities to try and upgrade those skill trees to see what they offered me. for a while. I dropped the swords completely and went bow only for a while. That was really fun because, you know, you get that headshot bonus and then they instantly go down. You can kind of quickly run up and just stab them and get the killing blow. It's fun, but it has really... If Nioh 2 has taught me anything, it is that I am not a patient man and I get super frustrated. And because I get frustrated, I make stupid mistakes, and then it gets me killed in the same way every time.
Yeah, so I've come to learn that I'm very similar in terms of these games. Like I really enjoyed Bloodborne when I played it for a good stint. I love the idea of these Soulsbourne-esque games, and that's because I like the idea of the reward. Like it's the grind. And I get so mad during that grind because similar to yourself, I'm not very patient. I'm like, take. Oh, stamina. Shit, I've got my stamina. And I have to run away and then bounce it out. Like when you and I did that stream for Sekiro 100 years ago, man, you did way better than I did. But with here, I'm enjoying it. The problem that I'm facing is the map seems confusing. There's no way of recording the map that I've been able to locate, so I'm finding myself getting lost. And even then, because it's all kind of at least in the first area that I'm currently in, it's all very samey. There's a little town that I found, but it's all kind of the same. Like unlike Bloodborne and even Dark Souls, you start to learn the paths. Because even in a big built-looking gothic city, you remember the key locations to push your way through. So in terms of knowing where I need to go to take on the boss or the next boss, I don't even know where that is.
Well, see,
I had the same problem in Nioh 1, by the way.
Yeah, so my argument for that point is Nioh and Nioh 2 are level-based. So you go into an instance level. Generally speaking, once you know what the objective of the level is, you will have a line on your minimap showing where the boss is.
Oh, I thought that was a line to your health.
So there will be one line to where your dead body is, and the other line leads to the boss of the level. So whereas in Bloodborne or Dark Souls, that is a completely open world game. So you can go everywhere from everywhere, whereas Nioh is their instance levels. So there is a finite area that you can explore.
All right, that's cool. That kind of solved my problem, actually.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's one of those things of, as I've gotten older, the idea of a giant open world makes me more anxious than anything. I'm like, I don't even know where to go. So if it's kind of like pushing you in a direction, that's handy. All right, cool. Well, actually, I'll pay attention to that now. Because I followed it until I remember where my body was, and then I ignored that little compass because I'm like, I've got my body back. I don't need this anymore. What about the story? As far as I know, the story is there was a dude with horns. He came into a town. Eventually, he got really shitty, and then he started attacking people. And then some guy comes in with a sword and killed him, and then...
So obviously, I'm not very far. So all I've uncovered so far is that I am not just a human. I am part yokai, which are the...
Hence, we get angry.
Yeah. So in
like a ghost.
In Nioh 1, they had I believe it was called the living weapon, which was your supercharged attack once you leveled up once you gained enough points to use it. In Nioh 2, it is called yokai shift because you literally transform into a demon.
So yeah, you phase into this like alternate thing where you become this ripping looking demon.
And it is so cool. So your health bar disappears, your stamina bar disappears, and you just get your yokai shift bar. And anything you do in yokai shift decreases that bar. So if you dodge, you lose some bar. You attack, you lose some bar. You get hit, you lose some bar. But when you come out of that yokai shift, you're exactly where you were. You haven't lost any health. You haven't lost any stamina. You just get jacked for a good 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how you use your allotted time.
And it's very helpful. Like, you talk about this Minotaur looking dude. Yeah, that's where it came in. I built myself up and then did it, and then goes like a half his health or like a quarter. So, no, it's more of a third of his health. And
same with like the yokai counter. So the enemies do this big red flash, and you're like, oh, I know I can't dodge this normally, or I can't block this normally, but if I hit my yokai shift and then block, I can counter him. And then you get all your stamina back and all your abilities back. And a nice chunk of damage from the... Nice chunk of damage to the...
Well, so what I've tend to found is when you do that yokai shift, or at least when they're in that big red and you do that big whip thing, that staggers them. So they go, oh, what? And then you're like...
So I've also
That's
noticed
stabbing noises, by the way.
I've also noticed because I've got a few different yokai transformations, all their the counters work differently.
Okay.
So there's
three.
There's three like subtypes. I can't for the life of me think of what they were. I wish I wrote it down, but I didn't. But basically, one is a speedy boy, and he does a quick dash. And if you dash into them when they hit you, you counter them. One is a little bit slower, so you have to time it a little bit more differently. And I find that I struggle to sometimes get the timing right if I'm not the speedy boy.
So the one that I'm using is the red one. So it's red, blue, and yellow.
Yes.
I'm using the red one. Like Fury or whatever.
You're using Fury. I'm using the yellow one, which is the quick boy.
Yeah.
And I can't think of...
Yeah, because what I'm fine with the because the second I see that red, I'm like, what? And then I do this little whip maneuver, and that's and the stagger is really helpful for me because, as I said, I'm very impatient. So I'm like, start kicking them when they're down a little bit, and then it allows me to duck back and give it a burl. I'm just trying to think of other areas. So what else about it should we discuss?
So they've brought back the magic still, so you can ready your magic. So I've got a few talismans, so I can imbue my weapon with water and lightning, not cool. At the same time.
I haven't got that yet.
That came in super handy for one of the bosses, which was just a big fireboy, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make my sword water, and I kind of wrecked his shot pretty quickly. After I worked that out, that was fun. I got some throwing knives and some kunai. What's a kunai? They're just like throwing daggers.
Cool.
They do like 0 damage, but they'll stop someone from rushing you.
Yeah.
So I find that that's fun. The NPC summoned allies are hot garbage.
I'm seeing them everywhere. Like, so there's a bunch of little...
Worst. So the red ones are revenants that you can fight to get better gear. They're hot garbage. You can kill them pretty easily. And the blue ones are supposed to help you. They don't help you. They're more of a hindrance most of the time.
Do they even take the aggro or anything?
They can sometimes take aggro, and sometimes they don't.
That's a good
And most of the time when they take aggro, they'll keep trying to attack it when they're stun locked. And then they instantly die, and then the boss is just stronger because there was 2 of you, but there's only you left. Instantly.
Oh man, that sucks.
But you can summon human friends, but as far as I can tell, they need to be on your friends list.
So you can
you summon them from the shrine, and it opens the PlayStation menu and says invite someone. Whereas the AI controlled revenants, they're just the blue grave sites, and they're just the blue grave sites, and you can summon them as long as you've got enough of the currency to summon.
Which is like a bowl or something.
Called omokyo cups or something.
Yeah.
They're like offering bowls.
Pretty much, yeah. So you're offering to the gods, and then they give you someone to help you out, or some additional things to help you out.
They can be helpful, and most of the time it's just, can you just go and take some hits so I can hit this guy in the back real quick?
Yeah. So, well, anything else you want to add about? Because you've said this is a big year review. So we grabbed when this came. I reached out to grab a code for us because this was up your alley. Knowing that, like I played enough to be able to understand where you're coming from and bring
look,
some
I'm
points.
super keen to play more. Obviously, I've got a lot of downtime at the moment, so that's the game that I'm going to be playing.
I'll play more of it
I
today.
really, really want to finish it because I'm at that point where I'm like, I feel that the game's mocking me. Like, you can't beat me, and me being me, I'm like, I'm gonna beat you. It's gonna take me a while. I'm definitely not as good as these games as I used to be.
Yeah, are you finding that from back when you played Nioh 1 or even like original Dark Souls? Do you think you have increased or decreased your skills?
So I think the issue is I've set my dodge button to a back paddle on my controller, and I'm using the back paddle to dodge instead of actually physically hitting the button like I would normally do, because back when I played Dark Souls or Bloodborne, didn't have back buttons on my controller. So it could just be me moving from using my dominant hand, my right hand, to block or to dodge, to now using my left hand back paddle to dodge.
Okay.
And maybe my fingers are a little bit slower.
Well, because I do
on one
got the
hand.
back button attachment is still sitting over here. Maybe that could help my Nioh-ness.
Well, it's not helping mine.
Maybe it won't.
Either that, or I've just gotten slow in my old age.
I'm expecting that. Like my reaction times have always been shithouse. Like even back in the day, like I was sucked at first person like multiplayer shooters, and now it's worse. So much worse.
Yeah, I kind of suck at COD these days.
Yeah, I think COD's changed a lot as well.
Yeah, it's gotten worse, which is why I've gotten worse.
But anyway, yeah, from my early impressions of Nioh 2, I think it's a ton of fun. I'm not smart enough to know all the nuances that most people would look within the Soulsbourne-esque genre. But
combat-wise, I would say Nioh and Nioh 2 more liken themselves to Sekiro than what they.
I would
do
agree
to
with that too.
Souls. So if you're a big fan of Sekiro, or if you were obviously a big fan of Nioh, this game is an easy recommend. Stop telling me to get up. This game is an easy recommend. It's absolutely fantastic. I'm loving it. I can't wait to play more. And obviously over the next couple of weeks, that's
be balancing Nioh and Persona.
Well, I'm honestly probably just going to play Nioh more than Persona because I can play Persona whenever I want.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy comes out next week.
Yeah, we'll see. That's what's going to happen. This is the game that I'm probably going to play until Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm keen to play Final Fantasy.
I'm so keen to play that.
Anyways, big thank you once again to PlayStation Australia for providing us the code for Nioh 2. The difficulty with Nioh 2 is like these style of games, people know whether they like them or not. It's pretty straightforward. Either you like it or you don't. And I think if you know about it, you know you like it. And if you do, you do. You don't, you don't. All right? It's just one of those things.
Well, you're not a big Soulsbourne guy.
No, not even a little bit.
How have you found the difficulty of this game? Because obviously you survived a lot longer than you did in the original Nioh. You survived a lot longer than you did when we played Sekiro. Would you say this is slightly easier on the difficulty tree?
No, but but I think because back in I've played a lot more games since then. So Nioh was one of the first games we ever sort of really reviewed here, like back in like X amount of years ago, and I believe that my overall gaming skill has increased, or my tolerance for games has changed, because as I've progressed in terms of being a more all-rounder game reviewer, I think that's helped because it allows me to change my patience. I almost consider downloading Nioh 1 again and seeing it, because like
we got it on
PS Plus. Yeah, I've got it. It's there ready
ago.
to go if I want to. Because I did,
and I think. Sorry to interrupt you again. I'm pretty sure Nioh 2 is a prequel to Nioh.
That makes more sense. But like for the story, the story's funny of me dying in like 9 seconds. Like we did a whole 3-hour stream of it or something. So Josh and I did get a good hunk of distance into it. But yeah, and like Bloodborne, I put a ton of time in. And for me, I enjoy like the learning. The switching, the just really pushing my skill set. Saying that though, I also don't have the patience, and I just say the C word a lot, and then I want to turn it off.
So that's the same with me. I love the risk-reward gameplay style, but I hate it when the risk is too risky and gets me killed.
Yeah, which is why I like probably Jedi Fallen Order more. Yeah. But anyways, go pick up Nioh 2 if you want. Maybe it's a good isolation game. But look, that game's 2 weeks old, Max. Maybe there's some new games that you want to spend in your isolation. So let's have a look at the games that are coming to the players this week in a section called Funny Enough, Coming to the Players, where we just straight up read you the drop.
So the new PlayStation games for March 31st, 2020. Again, this comes from the US PlayStation blog. Some dates will change on these releases.
Side note, super excited about Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy coming. Until I realized it was $35 fucking dollars.
Oh, don't even talk to me. You know how last week I got all excited about the Yu-Gi-Oh coming out? Turns out it is $70.
Ew.
And it's the Switch version because the Switch got the updated version of what was on PS4. So this is literally kind of just an expansion on the original game, and they're selling it as a whole new game for $70.
Lame.
I was very upset.
What game is coming out this week, Max?
Games are coming out this week, Ryan. We have Battle Rockets on PS Vita Digital.
Okay.
The Casebook of Arcady Smith, PS4 Digital. The Complex, PS4 Digital.
Okay.
Curious Expedition, PS4 Digital. Final Assault, PSVR Digital.
Bumping shit everywhere.
Good Goliath, PSVR Digital. Hyper Parasite, PS4 Digital, out April the 3rd. Immortal Legacy, The Jade Cipher, PS4 Digital. Operencia, The Stolen Sun, PS4 digital. Oh, cool. I didn't know that was coming to PlayStation 4. Rad game.
Oh.
Overpass, PS4 digital. There are no dates on any of these. Persona 5 Royale, PS4 digital
We
retail.
forgot to mention, the reason we're playing Persona is because it came out, like, they just went, fuck it, it's available now. So they announced in Australia that you could buy it early. Because, you know, it was being done through 5 Star Games, which is a company that doesn't want to talk to us for some reason. So it's not as if we had early copies. We just bought it from the store.
Yeah, I mean, the game's been out in Japan for...
Saying that, though, if you stream it, you get in trouble.
Really?
Yeah. Good friend of ours, Ghost the Machine, got in trouble.
Ooh, because that's good, because I was going to stream it the other night, because obviously now that I have a capture card, thanks to yours truly, I'm like, I'll stream Persona. But
I need to work out why your camera's being so dumb.
Yeah, so it turns out that XSplit is a pain in my
XSplit
bumhole.
sucks, asshole. Go to OBS.
So basically, it was trying to run the 1080p stream at higher than what it could, and then it just killed it. Whereas
OBS,
it works fine on everything else.
Because what I'll do is I'll send... Because if you... I don't guess you can make your own, but I can send you the layout that we use for here. So if you want to see stream, we can do all that. Yeah, Persona 5 for all.
Persona 5 roll. Don't stream it yet. Random Heroes, PS4, PS Vita, digital cross-buy. And the big one, Resident Evil 3, PS4, digital and retail, out April 3rd. Yeah. Jill Valentine is one of the last remaining people in Raccoon City to witness the atrocities Umbrella performed. To stop her, Umbrella unleashes their ultimate secret weapon, the Nemesis. Also includes Resident Evil Resistance, a new 1 vs 4 online multiplayer game set in the Resident Evil universe where 4 survivors face off against a sinister mastermind. I'm also pretty sure that is running this weekend too.
Resistance?
Yes.
I cannot comment.
No, there's a free trial, isn't there?
I play it safe.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure it was in the thingo. Snaky Bus.
What?
PS4 Snaky Bus.
Look at the picture. It's fucking weird.
It's a snake bus.
That's awesome.
Totally reliable delivery service. PS4 digital out April 1st.
Looks like Tools Up meets Crazy Taxi.
Golf cart. Were Room?
WURR Were Room. Yeah,
Were Room. PS Vita, digital out April 1st. That's everything.
All right, clearly the answer is fucking Resident Evil in the game that you want to buy this week. 100%. So you want to play Resident Evil. You want to play Persona 5. They're probably the two that are worth picking up. Especially, Persona's good isolation game. I love that. That's kind of what we have to look for now, isolation games. Resident Evil, hype, still high. Be sure pick it up when it comes out because Resident Evil 2 was just so goddamn spectacular, Max.
Agreed. I'm just trying to pull up this article really quickly.
All right, is this confirming?
Apparently it got delayed.
What?
The Capcom delays Resident Evil Resistance PS4 and Steam
the betas. Okay.
Yeah, that was a Resistance beta. So this article came out 10 hours ago. They have delayed the open beta on PS4 and Steam due to technical issues.
Okay.
It was supposed to be this weekend.
Okay.
I wasn't going crazy.
Okay, cool.
My apologies, everyone.
I just like that. I can't comment. All right. Wrap her up.
That PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that PlayStation conversation, head on over to our Facebook, our Discord, Twitter, Instagram, all the links in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/The Pop Culture where you can watch us record this show live. Just like The Mullet Show did, just like iClonus did, just like Ewan's mum did, as well as Sarah, Justin, bunch of and the lovely gentleman of Stephen Player, who just got over 9,000 followers on his Instagram page. Go check him out, Stephen Player 1. He's a brilliant dude. Big fan. But one thing that we'd like you to do is if you'd like to share this conversation, tell your friends, tell your families about what we do here, including the PlayStation Show, as well as the Young and the Wrestlers, a WWE podcast. Just share some love, man. Go to your podcast services, give us a star rating, a written review. Even if you do watch us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, all that shit as well. We always forget to do that, even though we primarily do video. And I always get but I just hate being like, it's your boys. You be sure to hit that notification. Like, no, fuck that noise. I didn't do any of that
do
stuff.
it though.
We should really like and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, it'd be much appreciated. And I know it's a tough time, but if you do want to support us financially, you don't have to. But you have it at patreon.com/thepopculturists, as well as our merchandise store at popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players. For the Players, the PopCulturiusts PlayStation podcast is fan-supported at patreon.com/thepopculturists. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damien Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.